Good. Hi, Hunter. Thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Hi,
Happy to
Hunter.
have you
Wonderful
here.
to be here. Thank you for the intro.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll pass it over to you two, and thank you so much.
Hi, Nichelle. It's so great to see you again.
Oh, hi, Kendra. It's so wonderful to be here with you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, so folks can get a sense of kind of like our career journeys with Siemens. Can you share with us a little about your career journey here at Siemens?
Yeah, again, my name is Nichelle Grant. I'm currently the head of diversity, equity, inclusion for Siemens US. I've been with Siemens 23 years. It's unbelievable. And I just keep going because there's so much to learn and so much to do. It's really a great organization. So I'm happy to talk a little bit more about it. I started with Siemens really in the training and development department, teaching our customers and our employees about our technology and developing curriculum. And then I moved into marketing, right? Determining what solutions and services we needed for our customers. I loved interacting with the customers, right? In various markets like healthcare, higher education, oil and gas, commercial. And I've held several leadership roles over my course of my 23 years in customer excellence, operational excellence, I was a head of vertical markets team and really trying to go to market with the right solutions for our customers. And all along the way, I was really volunteering on top of my day job for employee resource groups, anything with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when we really think about it, I've been focusing on it all along. In the last 4 years, I've been full-time focusing on it, trying to embed it in every nick and cranny within the organization. So I've had a great longevity of success within Siemens and continue to do so.
That's That's amazing. Oh, so for me, as stated, I am currently the e-mobility engineering manager for our DC product care team. I came to that position in the summer of 2021. So I will be with Siemens exactly 6 years next Monday, actually. When I started in 2017, I came in as the engineering manager for our medium voltage switchgear line, our products there. And then shortly after, I transitioned to another product line to manage both the electrical designers for medium voltage, as well as the PEs for our SDV line. So, and then after that, I got asked about managing the e-mobility product line, which has been great. The technology that we're creating, and also the opportunity to work with the e-mobility and start, because everything is new in electric vehicles. So being there with that technology has been exciting. It's been amazing to be here. And I know as someone who has moved a lot for work, hearing that you have been with Siemens for 23 years is amazing. I aspire as well to do that. And it's great to be in a space where there is a sense of belonging. And so speaking of belonging and creating a space for employees to belong, from your point of view, how do you think companies can create an environment of belonging at work?
Well, I think belonging at work is really important, and I believe in creating it even before they start, right? From the moment they apply for a job, they should feel like they belong because they want to be a part of this great organization. And I think as people apply, timing and communication is important even before they start their new job. And once they are welcomed in at the very beginning on day one, right? It is really important not to only hear from our CEO, but from the direct manager, right? Greet the employees, make people feel like they belong, part of their company, part of their team, part of their business unit. You know, and companies can really create the sense of belonging when they ask employees their ideas, ask employees for their suggestions, and not just ask, but actually act on it by listening and taking action upon them. And then so that the employees can see that positive change happening and they'll want to contribute over and over again. right?
Mhm.
People want to feel like they are heard and valued, and that creates a culture of belonging.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I have valued the most, being with Siemens, is that I feel like my voice can be heard. And that is a good tip about making sure the manager greets the employees on the first day. I make it a point that whenever I hire someone in, that I make sure I greet them to the front door and that the onboarding process is kind of seamless. And sometimes you can't, you have your hiccups and you can't account for everything, but letting them know that they belong and to see your face, that is really important. And that's great advice.
Yeah,
So
such a great practice.
yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your holistic or comprehensive approach to DEI?
Well, DEI overall sometimes kind of gets pigeonholed into one thing, like DEI, oh, that's the ERGs, or DEI, that's the councils or the webinars. That's what that is, right? But it really is much, much, much more than that. When we think about DEI and belonging, our goal is, like I said earlier, is to embed DEI in everything we do. So no matter what job you're performing at Siemens, you can contribute to our overall DEI deliverables. We focus on actions that will positively impact the workforce, the workplace, and the marketplace. If it doesn't fit into one of those three, you're kind of wondering, well, why are we doing it? Are we doing it for the workforce, the people, the workplace, the culture, or the marketplace, our customers, our suppliers, and community actions, right, in society? And so while data drives some behaviors, it's a lagging indicator. So we really put our focus more on behaviors, on the mindset, right? And so that the right actions will show up in the numbers. We do love to hear from our employees. So our employee survey plays a key role in how we act and things that we provide. I look at it and I look at the sentiment behind how people are feeling about where they work, right? How they feel about their sense of belonging, and the tasks they're asked to do, and how well they think they can perform it. And so when we take a look at that, that influences our strategy overall on how we really come to strategize around workforce, workplace, and marketplace. And we find that hearing from employees really takes the action, and we get the feedback, we communicate it back, and then we move back again and say, hey, how are we doing now? It's a continuous journey, always something going on.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned employee surveys, because I know as a manager, one of the things coming in the door that I was impressed with was how serious, like from the top down, we take our surveys. Because as managers, we are tasked with ensuring that our employees participate if possible. And also, we really look at the data and receive that feedback and try, even within our own groups, we try to provide the feedback and make sure that our employees are feeling welcome, and if they have any issues, are knowing that we have that open door that they can talk to us, and we will try to take that information and see how we can ensure that their time at Siemens is valuable. And I had never had that before, so I thought that that was a great and interesting approach, because before, when I would see employee surveys, I'm like, it's not targeted towards me. But no, at Siemens, we really take that information and really do something with it. And I know for me personally, I transitioned my information within my team to growth talks, and having that one-on-one time and ensure that they are having that manager one-on-one time.
Yeah, that's so important. You bring up the growth talks, because I think, people kind of wait for that once a year, maybe even twice a year survey, but we really try to have that continuous dialogue all along the way, so that you feedback immediately, right? And in two ways, the employee to the manager, and the manager back to the employee. Why wait, right? Let's give positive feedback and constructive feedback right away, so people can adjust and they're not surprised, right? At the end of the
Because who wants to get all of it loaded upon you at that one time of year? It's great to have that interaction throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm really inspired by us making that change. And managers are really feeling empowered to have those conversations, right? They're
Yeah.
not bound by this once a year form we got to fill out. It's an
Yeah.
ongoing dialogue, and lots of things are changing, right? Technology is changing, society is changing, the way people work, and we have to be agile. And this growth talks really helps us do that.
They really do. They really do. I appreciate them. Do we have any data to support if a sense of belonging contributes to the way we as individuals show up at work?
Yeah, I think what we did was we intentionally looked at our survey questions to say what questions are we asking and what data does it give us back, right? And can we use that data to make a change in processes, procedures, the way that we give flexibility at work for people to do and be productive and efficient, right? And so, like I said before, I believe that data is a lagging indicator, but what we did was intentionally put in programs in place, such as growth talks, such as inclusive leadership training, and other things that allow us to cultivate action that will allow us to get that feedback to say, yeah, we're doing the right things.
Right.
And I think some of the data allows us to kind of see that, oh, wow, here's how people are feeling about certain aspects of the work environment. And
Yeah.
we have so many different environments, right? As you're well aware, we have the manufacturing, operational type environments. We have the office environments. We have those that are on, vehicles going around to customer sites. And so when you have that such a diversity, right? Different work environments, you really have to be keen on what's happening in each. You can't just do the same thing necessarily.
Yeah, for everyone. I know for me personally, like whenever I feel that sense of belonging in a space, eh, the way I show up is totally different because I want to show up as my best. If I know that I feel included and you want me here. And I have been able to do that in this space for 6 years because I feel like my voice is heard and we're doing something about that. So I think that my team could probably have the same sentiment as me, that in Siemens, because we put so many things in place to ensure that they show up as their full authentic selves and are ready to definitely make their day-to-day impact within Siemens. And I think that also translates to mentors and mentorship within Siemens. I know, Nichelle, you are passionate about mentorship. Can you share with us ways in which you guide mentees towards their aspirations and through challenges?
Yeah, mentorship is so important. I when I reflect back on the various mentors I've had, I can see each of them has taught me or how they helped me to shape me. And as a mentee, I knew it was up to me to really drive those relationships and really gain as much as I could from each mentor. So being a mentor today is a way of me passing along what I've learned to make it easy for others, right, to reach their goals. I do remember when I didn't have a mentor, right? Trying to figure it out, looking for answers, looking for direction, fumbling my way through, right? But then one day I shared my career aspirations with my current manager at the time, and they said, oh, let's get you a mentor. And that was life changing, right? And so since that point, I have always found being mentored impactful, and mentoring others an essential part of who I am. I really love mentoring people. And I have found that typically people think about mentors as that one person, right?
Right.
That mentor that you can, on everything you have questions about or what you sharpen your skills about. But I think, I encourage people to think a little differently about mentoring. First, mentoring doesn't have to be that one person. Think about it, I call it, building your own personal board of directors.
Yep.
And this personal board of directors is a group of people you can reach out for various reasons. someone there, for career discussion. Another may be there for a particular skill, right? Oh, I love the way you lead or your listening skills. What do you do in order to sharpen it, right? There may be somebody else about a job that you might be considering moving into, and you want to see if it's really of interest to you without actually hopping into a particular future job that you may or may not like. So I encourage you really build a board of directors, right? But then secondly, don't be afraid to rotate out your mentor, because over time, there becomes a season, I call it, for each mentor. Because as you develop and grow, you're going to need different people to mentor you on your career journey. And you're going to need different mentors along the way that you may not need today, but you need it tomorrow, right? And if you gain all that you can from each of those people along the way, you're really able to be well-rounded. You're able to really reach and talk about the various things along the steps of your career. And then lastly, I'll say it's really up to you as the individual to really maximize that mentor-mentee relationship, right? It's your safe space, your brave space to ask your questions, to seek out information, to really learn about how you can show up as your true authentic self. So mentoring is so key. I could go on and on.
Yeah, that is a great way to put it, as your personal board of directors, because I think about even within my friend group, a different hand serves a different purpose sometimes, like, to go to this person for this type of advice or this person for that. So treating mentorship kind of the same way is really, really a great idea, especially for me. I didn't think I needed a mentor when I started a career in college. Of course, like I went to Clemson University, and as a minority at the University in engineering, we had different mentors for different things for my major. And just as a student, we had different mentors. And so after that, I was like, okay, I'm starting my career journey. I really don't need to be mentored. Oh boy, I was wrong. And I didn't get a professional mentor until maybe 2012. And it was then like I realized how important it was to have someone to kind of guide me and to give me some feedback on a time where I was not really sure if engineering was for me. But having someone who had their own type of journey and giving me advice really, really helped me see the importance of a mentor, because even if you mentor or you are a mentee, I feel like you have to understand that your journey is your own and it's your own to create. Someone can guide you, but essentially, you figure it out that your path is not going to be exactly the same. So I really like having the different mentors at the different time of your life, but also the board of directors. So that's really great advice, Nichelle.
Yeah, and one of the other things that made it successful is that I kind of sat down and said, hey, where do I want to go? What are my goals, right? So when I talk to the mentor, the various ones, I can articulate it, and then we can have a discussion about what are the various paths, right? A lot of times people are like, well, I don't know which path to take, what options are out there. But if you're really clear on where you want to go and what you want to accomplish, it helps help people guide you as to, well, you can do this way or you can do it that way, right? And then you can pick what works best for you.
Right. That's really, really great advice. So over the last several years, there's been a lot of movement in the DEI space. Looking ahead, what changes are you hoping to see in the next 3 to 5 years?
Wow, there's so many elements to it. Let me just pick a couple of them. I think the first thing would be, in 3 to 5 years, I'd love to see more accountability with leadership as well as individual contributors, right? Where DEI is truly embedded, right? We're not just talking or doing it to a certain point. It's just a part of including it naturally, right? And DEI is acted upon automatically, right? I think one of the bigger things, though, in 3 to 5 years would be, I'd love to see the workforce truly mirror society, right? Talent really exists everywhere. And it's our view that as we cultivate our talent, that full range, we have to open our aperture of where we go to get talent. So we're thinking differently about career path, right? Broadening that to say, do I really need a 4-year degree? Or are there ways that we could facilitate with community colleges, technical colleges, youth apprenticeships, right? Getting them excited about engineering and science and math early on. And so that we're promoting that lifelong learning and driving it with those ideas that you can learn in school and then you can come into a career and continue to learn. And so I think that we have to think differently about where we find talent and intentionally look at the talent from many places, right? And I think that helps us not only find the talent, but then develop them, promote them, give them opportunities to grow so that we can close that gap of lack of representation and again, mirror society. So that's what I'd like to see in the next 3 to 5 years, a real acceleration.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Is there anything folks can do today to improve their sense of belonging at work?
Well, there's always something to do. I think the first thing I would say is 2 things. One, educate yourself, right? Don't rely on others to always be in the know. Make sure you understand the history, make sure you understand what's happening currently in society and the direction that we need to go in order to have even a better place to live for all. Right? And so that means read books, attend talks, right? Making sure that you are interacting with people that are different from you, that may think different than you, live in a different culture, right? Get involved and make sure you're learning all the different things that you can. If your organization has employee resource groups, get involved in the employee resource group. It's really great for networking, building that network. It's good for professional development. It's good for standing up and being an advocate, an ally, right? And you can be a part of all the ERGs. You don't have to be a woman to be a part of the women's ERG. Get involved so that you can help be an ally and drive those changes that we're looking for. I would say also make sure that you meet a new people, right? One new person a week. Set a goal for yourself, right? Somebody, you're back in the office, and you see somebody you don't know, introduce yourself. There's lots of new people since COVID, right? And they're just now coming together to meet their coworkers. So they would love to have a smiling face and say, hello, how are you? Here's who I am. And lastly, I would say, speak up. Bring your ideas to the table. Ask to be at the table. Raise your hand, right, for those extracurricular projects so that you can be known that, hey, I am here and this is what I bring to the table.
Right, right. I like that, to make sure meeting one new person a week. Personally, I've always been a people person. I was the kid. I talked to everyone. It probably got on my mom's nerves. But she's also the same way. So I see a lot of her in myself as I get older. But just last week, I met someone on the production floor in Wendell, and we had a very good talk, and he helped me move some T-shirts that we needed for an event from receiving to the front of the office. And we were just talking, and he was telling me he was retiring the next day. And I just felt so cheated. I was like, I hated that I waited to come out here to meet him, but he had been with the company for, I think, over 40 years, but he was an amazing individual. So I do encourage folks to go out of your comfort zone and meet someone new. I always, as my engineers work with the production line a lot, I always encourage them to go out on the production floor and sit and talk to the people who are doing the jobs that we support, and to ensure that you know them and build those relationships. So that does help with your sense of belonging. That's really good information. Nichelle, I know that we're short on time, but I just wanted to ask, at Siemens, we have a strong belief that belonging transforms. As a woman of color in leadership, what does belonging transforms mean to you?
That's a great question. when I think about it, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that my time in this, on this earth at this moment, in this position, is for me to make change happen. And my charter personally is to bring people along with me and to leave what I can influence in a better place than when I found it. And so when I'm thinking about belonging and thinking about, people that work for Siemens, how do they feel like they're contributing and that they're valued? And then how are they transforming the lives of people, right? It's really not about what we're selling. It's really about the impact of our technology and the people behind it that leave society better than we found it. And to me, that is belonging, transforming every day. And so I get really passionate about making sure that we all show up to really be the best selves that we can be, as well as we can help others be all that they can be as well, right? And I love starting it at the youth all the way through to our legacy employees. There's so many things that are happening that we can really get involved in, align with the passions, so that you can be a part of this belonging transforming as well. And so I believe I have a responsibility to do my part while I have the privilege to be in this role.
Yeah, that's amazing, Nichelle. And as I get to work with you and learn from you, it is like my honor and my privilege to hear you say the things you say and the impact that you make daily at Siemens. It really inspires me to do my best and to show up and do my best. And also, I also tell my friends daily, like the work that I do with my outreach, because I truly believe in like the STEM outreach as a Black woman in engineering to start young. So I usually start from first graders on. So like that's the impact I would like to make, is just to make it better, make the world better than it was before I came here, and just continue and also inspire somebody along the way. So that's amazing that that's your goal and that I get to work with you. We have 1 minute left. Is there anything else you would like to share on this platform?
I would just say I'm honored to work with you. You are on some cutting edge technology, and that's going to change the way we live and work. And I really am inspired by what you and your team are doing. So thank you as well for your dedication and efforts in making change happen.
Thank you, Nichelle. Thank you.
Thanks. Great conversation.
Yeah, it's great. I enjoyed having this time with you.
Thank you both so much. It's going to our recording now. Really appreciate you making the time today. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, Nichelle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.